What's going on, guys? Jared here, Dex and Dice. Going to grace you with another video, I suppose. Um, Hold on, there's something clicking. Ha! I see it. 2 seconds. Alright, now that that's taken care of, holy shit, that was annoying. I didn't see it until the light hit it. Little clear piece of plastic. Anywho, so I'm not really gonna. Well, I'm gonna bitch, but it's gonna be a structured bitching. And it's ramblings of an LGS owner, obviously. I am going to list maybe like the top 5 dislikes about owning an LGS or operating an LGS. Um, because I'm assuming a lot of people out there kind of wondering, like, well, why the fuck did you do this, in the first place? If, you know, it sucks, which it doesn't. But just like everything worth fucking doing in life, it comes with its own trials and tribulations, and nothing worth doing is ever easy. If it was easy, everyone would be fucking doing it. And not everyone has the fortitude, both mentally and physically, to do this shit. Um, so yeah, anywho. So let me, I guess, just jump right on into it. These aren't in any real particular order. I just happened to jot them down, and if I have time in the video, I'll probably go through my like top 5 likes, like the reasons why to operate, or why I think, or yeah, the top 5, like what I think are good reasons or whatever for owning an LGS, doing what I'm doing. Just depends on how long I decide to ramble. So if I don't get to it, it'll be a second video, which now that I'm talking about it, might be good just to throw out to put another video out there. So TBD, we'll see what the fuck happens. So anywho, top 5 reasons to, or top 5 dislikes about operating an LGS. And these are all my personal opinions. They're not any kind of like industry standard or any of that shit. This is literally just my reasons. Um, Reason number 1, or dislike number 1, whatever you want to call it, would be, I did do a little cheat sheet with writing some shit down, so let me put this up here so the squirrel won't just ramble too far. Number 1, obviously, which is a big complaint for a lot of places, whether they'll admit it or not, is customers looking for deals, steals, and all that good shit, and like not really, like, I guess understanding is the wrong word, but comprehending that the overhead for a place like this is, even on my small scale, is thousands of dollars a month. Like, you looking for an extra 15%, trade in or cash, or hey man, let me get an extra $30 off of this, it's 150, like give me $20, shit like that. Depending on the person, yeah, I'm more prone to do that. But like realistically, man, and to kind of put it in perspective, like I have one distro, and these numbers are small, mind you, like super fucking small, especially considering like the other areas around me. Like these numbers are small, so keep that in mind. Like I have one distro that I pay no less than probably $3,500 to $4,000 a week just on, getting shit on their terms and then paying them back. That's just one distro a week. So, so like, do your basic math. You've got the $3,000 a week minimum times 4 weeks, $12,000. So that's just that going to that fucking distro. That's it, because it's 3,000, well, 3, 6, 9, 12, $12,000. That's just going to that one distro. So like, it's kind of a dick move to come into a place and be like, and expecting to be like, okay, so this sells for 20 bucks on TCG, I'll take 19 for it. It's like, dude, it doesn't work that way. Never has it really worked that way. We have a floor of like 60% store credit when you trade something in. And yes, that does fluctuate with like demand, the fucking condition it's in, and all that good stuff. And yes, it does fluctuate with who is trading stuff in. And this is also something that every other shop does, whether they're going to tell you to your face or not. We all have whales, or we all have people who come in and, we know that they're going to spend money. So that 60 might go up to 70%, might go up to 75, it might go up to 80, whatever the hell they're trading in. And if it's worth us doing that, then yeah, we're going to do it for them. Now, like a rando off of the street or whatever, if it's good shit that they're wanting to trade in, yeah, I will go up from 60 to maybe 70% or some shit just to, make sure that we acquire said cards. Same goes for cash. Our floor on cash is 35%, which is, it's not really low. That's actually kind of like bare minimum acceptable for a lot of places, but again, the caveat there is what you're trading in, what you're trying to sell, who you are, blah, blah, blah. So that 35 can quickly go to 50 or 60%. But still, you have the people coming in with like entire collections. Like, I bling this up on TCG. It's a $6,000 collection. I want $5,500 for it. It's like, bro, it doesn't work that way. You're not going to do that. You're better off probably either going to like Game Castle or some shit like that to get it all done in one fell swoop. Do it yourself on Facebook Marketplace, but you probably don't want to do that because that's the reason why you brought it to us in the first place. So if you want an easy, no hassle fucking transaction, get your money, get the fuck out, and go on with your life so we can sit here and process the rest of this shit and spend another fucking 5 or 6 days processing your trade in, just work with us, man. Like, don't expect to get 90% of your shit because we have to pay for stuff. Again, I refer back to the $12,000 a month for one distro. I have 2 distros that I work with all the time, 3 occasionally. Well, 4 if you want to count GW. Like, I usually buy stuff from them weekly. So yeah, okay, 3 that I buy from pretty much constantly, and then another one that I just kind of hit with. So like, don't really get your panties in a wad or whatever when you come in with your collections and you're only getting, 50, 60 cents on the dollar, 40 cents on the dollar, so forth and so forth. And also, as I've said in previous videos, you can blame the game piece army for wanting that shit to be a thing too. Most of your cards aren't worth what you think they're worth. They're not worth what they were worth 4 or 5 years ago, even 2 years ago. A lot of shit has dropped in price. Granted, stuff is kind of climbing a little bit currently, but that is mainly due to not a lot of people buying sealed, breaking stuff up, and having like a nice amount of singles out there in the wild. But anywho, that is dislike number 1. People coming into the shop and wanting damn near 100% value for what they're trying to trade in or sell. Yeah, some of you understand and are good with it. Cool. I love you. But for the most part, you can kind of see the offense in people's eyes when you're like, okay, I'll give you this. And they're like, but it says, it's like going to GameStop, bro. You're not going to get your shit back. It's like even selling on Facebook Marketplace. You're not getting full value. You know that. So come the fuck on. Point number 2 for dislikes. And this one is arguably like a 50-50 thing. Because, like, yes, what I'm about to talk about makes money, but it doesn't make money. But people thinking that events and snacks make way more money than they do. And then being like, well, I came to the event. I paid my entry fee. You usually get participation trophies for your entry fee. I don't want to hear that shit. And snacks. 9 times out of 10, what you buy in snacks gets rolled right back into buying the same amount of snacks and plus a little bit. Like, if I can buy something for, I don't know, we'll say $20, I might make 3, 4, maybe $5 on it. So I'll get $5 back on something that I spent $20 on. Um, Sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more. Really kind of depends on what the hell I buy. So like, just because you go to a place and you pay the entry fee or you buy snacks and drinks or whatever, like, yeah, you're contributing, but it's not like the saving grace that everyone might think that it is. Um, so that's point number two. That's pretty much cut and dry. Like, we appreciate it. Thanks for coming. Thanks for playing. Thanks for buying stuff and all that. Like, every little bit does help, but don't fool yourself into thinking that you're doing this great big thing by paying the 10, 15, $20, $5 entry fee when you're getting, a pack, 2 pack, 3 packs, or whatever when you enter, because you're actually just pretty much buying the packs and then entering. And then there's prize support on top of that shit too. So like, events really aren't that big moneymaker unless it's something huge like, I guess regionals, nationals, shit like that will bring in a lot of people. And even then, you're not really guaranteed to make a shit ton, because who's to say that all those people are gonna buy anything, all that good stuff. So like, you know, small events and all that good shit don't really churn much for an LGS. It's just something that we do for you guys, or we're forced to do it by the companies that we sell stuff from, like Wizards, um, Flesh and Blood, Yu-Gi-Oh, all that shit. Like, those parent companies make is a bad word, but strongly insist that we do certain events and all that good stuff. So, you know, yeah. So, point number two is that kind of cut and dry. Like I said, I tried to ramble a bit to like emphasize it, but there's not much to really emphasize on that. Part number three that I dislike is, this is gonna sound weird, but ordering from my distros. I like my distro dudes. Like, my reps are pretty cool, all that good stuff. Um, but there's a lot of ins and outs that are unspoken when it comes to like distros and your relationships with them and so forth and so forth. Like, yeah, your rep is going to tell you bottom line stuff, but everyone knows that if you're not ordering hundreds of thousands of dollars of product, like, you're kind of low priority. Your allocations aren't going to be that great. There's going to be some favoritism as far as, oh, hey, this came in stock, let me call this person instead of this person, So, like, there's a whole bunch of, like, unspoken understanding, like, that's just the way the fucking world works. Sucks, but it is what it is. Going on with distros. And there's a lot of, like, hidden fees, too. Like, when you buy something, you don't just buy something for, like, $100. It's $100, a handling fee, a percentage fee for fucking using your credit card or debit card. Like, that shit adds up, especially when you're dropping thousands of dollars a week. That shit adds up to hundreds of dollars and just fees that you end up paying throughout the fucking month just to do business. So, that's a thing with the distros. Like, it's cool to sit down and order shit. But at the same time, you're kind of like, well, how is this really going to fuck me? Like, what am I really going to make off of this after all of the fees, all the fucking even like transaction fees from your POS and all that shit? Like, because even your POS charges you, like, mine I think is 1% per transaction plus a standard baseline of like 15 cents, 20 cents, maybe even 30 cents per transaction. So, even at the beginning of the month where my transaction shit hits four, five, six, seven, $800 just in transaction fees that I have to pay to my POS provider just for doing business with them. Not to mention, like, I'm still paying off the POS, so that's like 100 something bucks a month, and then they charge you a monthly fee just to use the software, which is like, I think mine's like 20 bucks, 30 bucks a month to use the software. So there's a whole bunch of bullshit that goes along with your distros and all that shit as far as fees go, which kind of ties into like why when people come in looking for deals and steals and all that shit, we get kind of pissed off because it's like, dude, you have no fucking clue how bent over the barrel we are compared to how bent over the barrel you might feel. Like, come on now. And also, for some strange reason, people think that, like, we buy fucking booster boxes for $5 each and sell them for 300. That's not the case. I have shown you guys what shit costs on my end a lot of the times, and you're like, all right then. So, like, that's a little under the radar kind of thing that, like, I guess some people bitch about, but I don't hear a lot of complaining about it or even talking about it because maybe it's some kind of taboo thing to not do, but oops, I did it. So, moving on to number 4. And this one is a little touchy, admittedly, but it is the competing with your other shops in the area. So, we're only about 3 years old. Every other shop around me has been in business for no less than 8 years, maybe 9. I'll just round up and say 10 for shits and giggles. So, while, I don't know, they might see me as some kind of competition or something, I don't necessarily see them as competition. And I don't really think they see me as competition either, just because, like, I'm the new guy on the block and, like, will he make it, will he not kind of shit. It kind of more or less boils down to the community of each of these shops, because everyone ends up with like a tribal mentality of this is my shop, fuck your shop, my shop is better. It just happens. It's a thing, human nature, whatever you want to chalk it up to. And admittedly, since I'm the new kid on the block and I'm not as established as everyone else and all that good stuff, I don't have the bigger inventory. I don't have the, relationship with the distros and all that good stuff. So, so my shit, I don't want to say pales in comparison to a lot of other shops, but it's not as impressive as other shops are because I don't have the inventory, I don't have the reputation and all that good stuff yet. So, like, when it comes down to that, it's definitely a community-based favoritism, loyalty, or whatever that people get with their home LGS or whatnot. I don't necessarily think it's like bad blood between the actual LGSs, even though there are certain cases, scenarios, and all that shit that obviously will point towards that from time to time to try and keep this as friendly as possible. Because there's a lot of times where events overlap and you don't know if it's intentional or unintentional, but if we're running an event and default.exe's shop runs an event the same day, same time, everyone's going to default.exe shop because it's just default.exe shop. Like, that's just what happens. So, like, I don't know if that's actually them being assholes and trying to just flex and be like, look what we can do, ha ha ha, or if it's a legitimate just, hey, let's fucking run this, and then it's just like, oh shit, well, didn't really know that new kid was trying to do something. My bad. Hee hee. So that's point number 4. And going to number 5, and this one probably hurts the most. This is, and like, I guess hurt is the wrong word, but I don't really have much for it. It's just, and I knew it would happen because it happened when I managed fucking GameStop for a little while. And it's just that you lose the hobby. Like, you really do. I don't really enjoy sitting down and playing Magic anymore. I don't want to learn any other card games. I don't want to. God, it sounds bad when I like say it out loud, but it's like it's just one of those things that, like, you have to hear, you know? Like, you lose the hobby. It's no longer a hobby anymore. You don't do it for fun. Everything that I see that comes into the shop, I see it as a possible revenue source, and how can I use it to benefit the shop? Like, I tell the minions and stuff and all that when they're like, oh, sorry, I was playing a game. It's like, no, dude, that's cool. Like, technically consider it customer service. Like, you're doing the thing. Like, I don't care if they do it or whatever, but like me, since I own this motherfucker, it's up to me to make sure that shit floats. And if I'm sitting there playing a game or whatever, like, I feel like I'm ignoring my responsibilities. I feel like a piece of shit, So, like, and someone asked me this the other day. They're like, don't you play Magic or whatever? And I was like, yeah, I do, but like, I I don't know, I can't anymore. Um, which really sucks because it was an outlet and all that good stuff, but it's just one of those things where you lose it, man. I don't know how else to explain it. You lose the hobby. You lose the actual, like, feeling you would get with just sitting down playing with buddies and all that good stuff because you're at work. You're supposed to be doing something productive. You're supposed to be, I don't know, like wiping down a counter maybe, or restocking something, or you're sitting there and you're looking around your own shop and you're like, I don't like the way this is set up, or I need to do something about that. So you go into work mode anyways. So why the fuck would I want to sit down, start playing something, and be in work mode and have to interrupt a game every 10, 15 minutes with, let me help this person, let me go, I don't know, check on this, X, Y, Z. So I just choose not to because I really can't. And it sucks, but it is what it is. So that's probably like the top 5 that I can think of where it's just like, just the dislikes of running a shop in general. Honorable mention, though, now that I think about it, is and this is not me attacking people or any of that shit. Like, it's not. It's just a thing. It is what it is. I think pretty much every shop struggles with this shit, but it's people not supporting what they say they want to see at a shop, and then being kind of like upset or surprised that it stops being a thing, you know? Like, people wanting to say that, like, they want to see a 60 card format at the shop. I have tried numerous fucking times to get a 60 card format started at the shop. Just doesn't fucking happen. Be it fucking Oathbreaker, Modern, Pioneer, Standard, shit, I think that's really about all that I've tried, to be 100% honest with you. But, like, I can't, like, spearhead all of this shit. I just can't. I'm too busy running the fucking shop. So, like, whenever I try to do stuff for a handful of people that say, yeah, that's a great fucking idea, let's do that, and then I do it, and no one shows up, and then no one shows up again, and no one shows up again. Like I said in Discord earlier today, it's like I can only lead a horse to water. I can't make it drink. But at a certain point, I get tired of leading the fucking horse, and I just let it die because it's not worth me wasting my time and effort to lead it to the water and it not drink. So that's just like an honorable mention, maybe even a pet peeve of mine. Like, you know, because as I've said in other videos too, like a lot of people get in the mindset of, oh, well, there's only going to be maybe one or two other people there, or no one else is going to be there, so why should I go? And that is how nothing ends up firing. Nothing new, at least, is because people get set in that mindset of, oh, it's not worth my time and effort to go there, even though you guys said you wanted to see this, because no one else is going to be there. No one's going to be there if that's the mindset. No one. So, like, so it's cool for me to like waste my time and effort to set stuff up for it and all that, but it's not cool for you guys to waste your time and effort to come to the shop and do what you said you wanted to see. You see where it's like an honorable mention, like pet peeve kind of thing. um, but anywho, like, even though it's like a top 5, I guess 6 if you want to categorize the honorable mention thing, even though that's a thing, every business has their fuck this list. Every job has their fuck this list. And just even fucking doing shit around the house and general living has this fuck this list. Doesn't mean that I hate what I'm doing. On the contrary, I really enjoy what I'm doing. I just like to be as blunt as possible with everyone. So, like, if you even contemplating starting your own card shop, or even contemplating starting your own business, and can take little chunks of what I throw out there, like, I enjoy being as blunt and as transparent as possible. While it may not be for a lot of people, if I'm as blunt as possible, just due to my tism tendencies and all that good stuff, that helps. But, like, if I'm as blunt as possible, not a lot gets lost in translation. There's not a lot of room for, interpretation of, well, maybe he meant this. It's like, no, I didn't. So, like, cool, I get it. I'm an asshole, come off as an asshole, but I'm actually a nice asshole. So, anyways, I'm gonna leave you guys alone. I'm gonna go and I guess scan in more cards and shit like that. I apparently hate myself because I'm going to eventually scan in all the bulk that I have for Magic. It'll be in the inventory on a second TCG account that we have open. That it's not open to the public yet, but it's there, and I'm going to start loading stuff onto it. It's going to be a TCG Direct only account, but that's where all of our bulk is going. So the bulk wall no longer exists. It is behind me. There are still 7 other 5,000 count boxes that I need to go through and sort to go with the rest of that shit there. But my goal is to just have all of the bulk put on the TCG Direct shit, and then hopefully just sell it via TCG Direct, so it gets the fuck out of the shop. Like, I know some people have come in and like, oh, hey, you have bulk, I really like that, but like, they come in, they look, and then I don't see them again for another like 6 months. And while that's cool, I want this shit out of my shop, and I don't want to, I don't know, have to drive 8 hours or whatever somewhere to like dump off all the bulk I have. So anywho, I hate myself. That's my project for the next probably month, is gonna be slowly scanning that shit in. Um, so yeah, again, it's because I hate myself, and because I hate myself, I made the shop. So you're welcome. Anywho, you guys have a good one. Hope you had a good Memorial Day weekend, all that good stuff, and I'll bother you later this week for the positive video of the 5 reasons why I enjoy doing this shit. So yeah, y'all have a good one. Be safe out there.